What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Merab admitted that over time, Petr actually started to grow on him, even though their rivalry began with a lot of tension. With their rematch set for UFC 323 next month, Merab looked back on how things have changed between them. He remembered the first fight vividly, describing how much animosity there was. The build-up was filled with back-and-forth bickering, heated moments, and a genuine sense of conflict. At that time, Merab felt like he needed that energy, that edge, to push himself. He even joked that he could lose to anyone, but he couldn't allow himself to lose to Petr. In his mind, that matchup was different, personal in its own way. But after beating Petr the first time, Merab said something shifted. He explained that it's part of a fighter's mentality. When you defeat someone tough, you naturally start rooting for them in their next fights. After their bout, Petr fought 3 more times, and Merab found himself cheering him on, wanting him to win because it reflected well on him too. He said that when you beat someone strong, it shows your own level, so you want them to succeed. Over time, that competitive hostility faded, and he realized he actually liked Petr more than he expected. Merab admitted he had trash-talked a lot before, but now he found it hard to stay mad. He said Petr even called him out recently in a respectful way, which made it even harder to keep that rivalry energy alive. Merab laughed about it, saying he felt like he needed to be mad at him again for the sake of the fight, but it just wasn't easy anymore. As the rematch approaches, Merab understands the importance of the competitive edge, yet he also recognizes the mutual respect that has grown between them, turning their rivalry into something deeper and more meaningful. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news, Arman has gone off on Ilia once again, delivering one of his most heated rants to date. In a new interview, Arman doubled down on his claim that Ilia is a complete fake, saying the version of him seen online is nothing like the person he's encountered in real life. According to Arman, Ilia tries to carry himself like a superstar, acting confident, polished, and untouchable on social media. But behind the scenes, he's nothing close to that image. Arman said the whole thing feels forced, manufactured, and built for attention rather than authenticity. He didn't stop there. Arman specifically targeted those private jet photos that Ilia constantly posts, calling them one of the most misleading parts of his entire persona. As Arman put it, Ilia doesn't own anything. He rents a jet, takes the pictures, posts them online like he's living that billionaire lifestyle, and then tries to present himself as someone far above the rest of the division. Arman said that kind of behavior is exactly why he doesn't respect the champion's public image. To him, it's all smoke and mirrors, a presentation crafted to make fans believe Ilia is living at a level he hasn't actually earned. Arman added that this fake persona isn't just annoying, it's holding up the division. He believes Ilia is acting like he's too big to fight anyone, using the flashy lifestyle content to boost his ego rather than defend his belt. Arman made it clear he's tired of waiting around while Ilia plays celebrity instead of champion. In his view, the belt should belong to someone hungry, active, and real, not someone pretending to be something he's not. After tearing into Ilia, Arman briefly shifted to another topic that caught the attention of fans, the possibility of Brady moving up to 155. Arman said Brady is a tough, physical fighter who could absolutely shake things up if he makes the jump. He respects Brady's skills, but said the lightweight division is a different beast, and anyone coming in has to be ready to face killers right away. Still, he welcomed the idea, saying new contenders only make the division more exciting and more competitive. Moving on to another news, Joe Rogan shared his thoughts on the upcoming boxing match between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua, and he didn't hold back. Joe Rogan said he doesn't have much faith in Jake Paul heading into a matchup this serious. He explained that when you look at the circumstances, it's one of the wildest propositions imaginable. You have a guy who just went 12 rounds in what essentially looked like a light sparring session with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, and now he's preparing to face one of the most dangerous knockout artists in the heavyweight division. Joe Rogan emphasized that Anthony Joshua is a completely different level of threat compared to anything Jake has dealt with so far. He mentioned that maybe people should rewatch the Francis Ngannou fight to really understand the kind of power and precision Joshua brings when he's matched against someone who's not on his level. When Joshua gets comfortable and finds his rhythm, he becomes a terrifying force. Joe Rogan pointed out that even though Joshua has been beaten before, those losses came from elite talents. Usyk, who defeated Joshua twice, is considered by many to be one of the greatest boxers in the world across any weight class. His technical skill, movement, and timing are exceptional, and calling him one of the greatest heavyweights ever isn't an exaggeration. Joe Rogan also brought up the Andy Ruiz fight, where Ruiz stunned the world by dropping and stopping Joshua in their first bout. He explained that Ruiz is incredibly skilled and possesses fast hands and sharp boxing ability despite his appearance. These weren't fluke losses for Joshua. They came against legitimately high-level opponents. That's why Joe Rogan believes comparing those experiences to what Jake Paul has faced is almost unfair. Jake is stepping into a situation unlike anything he's ever been part of, facing a heavyweight with legitimate world-class power, speed, and experience. According to Joe Rogan, the gap in skill and danger is enormous. While Jake Paul has improved and proven he takes training seriously, Anthony Joshua represents a challenge closer to a mountain than a matchup. Joe Rogan made it clear that realistically the expectations for Jake should be grounded in the reality of what Joshua is capable of inside the ring. Moving on to another news, Jon Anik recently shared his thoughts on Belal Muhammad and what he believes Belal needs to adjust if he wants to stay competitive with the top welterweights in the division. Anik explained that Belal is a close friend of the family, which sometimes makes it difficult to critique him. But even Belal himself has admitted there's work to do. Anik said that when Belal talks about improvement, it isn't about becoming a flashy striker or trying to change his whole identity. Instead, it's about leaning more heavily into the skill set that can actually elevate him past the new wave of elite contenders. Anik pointed out that Belal is a very good striker, but in today's welterweight division, being a well-rounded fighter means using your strengths to dictate where the fight takes place. In Belal's case, that means wrestling. Anik believes Belal needs to focus on wrestling maintenance and use his striking as a tool to set up takedowns, create pressure, and drag opponents into deep waters where he can control and suffocate them. He emphasized that world champions are rarely one-trick fighters, but they do rely on their strongest weapons. And for Belal, that weapon has always been his grappling. He added that it's refreshing to hear Belal talk about himself honestly, acknowledging weaknesses and looking at his game with a critical eye. According to Anik, Belal likely understands exactly what needs to be done. He needs to sharpen his wrestling, improve the transitions that allow him to get to his opponent's legs more efficiently, and use his striking not to win lengthy exchanges, but to open the path to dominant positions on the mat. Anik believes that if Belal commits to that approach, he has the tools to compete with anyone at the top of the welterweight division and remain a serious threat moving forward. Moving on to another news. Arman recently appeared on Daniel Cormier's YouTube channel, where he confidently explained how he plans to finish Ilia if they ever meet inside the octagon. When Cormier asked him how he would beat Ilia, noting that nobody has been able to do it yet, Arman didn't hesitate. He said he could beat him everywhere, and that it simply depends on how people want to see the fight unfold. If fans want a knockout, he'll deliver one. If they want something else, he can make that happen too. Arman then revealed that he believes he can knock Ilia out with his axe kick. He joked with Cormier, who agreed and said he likes when Arman throws that kick because of how athletic he is. Arman explained that his plan would be to make Ilia tired, pressure him, and then land the axe kick clean to knock him out. He also talked about whether he would take another fight before getting a title shot. Arman made it clear that he has no interest in fighting anyone else, unless it's Conor. When Cormier asked him if he would take another matchup while waiting for the title opportunity, Arman immediately said no. He added that if it's not Conor, there's no reason to step into the cage again until he gets his championship fight. Cormier mentioned Conor's recent comments about returning from a spiritual journey, and Arman laughed, saying Conor would never fight him, and the UFC would never allow it anyway, because it would be a nightmare matchup for Conor. In Arman's view, he's too dangerous, too relentless, and too complete of a fighter for Conor to accept that kind of challenge. With growing confidence and a clear game plan, Arman believes his next step should be the title shot, and he's ready for Ilia whenever the UFC decides to make it happen. Moving on to another news. Daniel Cormier shared his thoughts on Paddy Pimblett's rise and whether he's ready for a lightweight title shot. According to Cormier, Paddy has made huge improvements and is finally showing the kind of maturity and composure that fans have been waiting to see. But even with his recent momentum, Cormier believes Paddy still needs one more strong win before stepping into a championship fight. He explained that the UFC had seriously considered booking Paddy against Justin, and a win over Justin, especially with the run Paddy is currently on, would have made a title shot completely justifiable. Cormier admitted that if Paddy had beaten Justin, he would have had no issue seeing him fight for the belt right now. But he still feels Paddy needs another challenge to continue developing inside the octagon, to sharpen the areas he's improved, and to prove he can handle the very top of the division. Cormier then shifted the conversation to Ilia and Arman, insisting that their matchup is the one that truly makes sense. He said Ilia is a different kind of beast, a savage with championship-level mentality and skill. Arman, in his eyes, is cut from the same cloth, a relentless competitor with the ability to push Ilia further than anyone else. From the way they interact, the tension between them, and the little confrontations that keep happening outside the cage, Cormier believes the fight is easy to promote. Ilia claimed he slapped Arman recently, while Arman said it was just a touch to the face, and now Ilia is exaggerating it. These moments only build the anticipation, and fans feel the authenticity of their rivalry. Cormier emphasized that what makes Ilia versus Arman special is the competitiveness. When people look at the matchup, they see a real fight, not a one-sided situation. They know Arman has a legitimate chance to win, but at the same time, they also know Ilia is capable of beating anyone in the world. Cormier said that with great champions, there's nothing more exciting than watching them enter a fight where the outcome is uncertain, where they're truly challenged, and where the pressure brings out the best version of them. In his mind, Ilia versus Arman is that kind of fight, the one that defines a division and tests two elite fighters at the highest possible level. Moving on to another news. Max Holloway recently got annoyed during one of his live streams after his chat kept baiting him with questions about Ilia. As he was trying to relax and interact with fans, the comment section kept spamming him, asking why he lost to Ilia. Max tried brushing it off at first, but the constant poking clearly got under his skin. When one viewer repeated the question again, Max fired back, saying, "Can you say why you lost to Ilia? I got caught, man. He caught me, bro. Did you not watch the fight?" He emphasized that it was a clean shot, a perfectly timed left foot that landed, and that's simply how the fight played out. Max made it clear he wasn't hiding anything, and he had already spoken openly about the loss. What annoyed him was the tone of the questions and the way some fans acted like they were exposing something. After another viewer tried to push the issue, Max snapped and said, "Then why you acting like that? You weirdo." What a weirdo. It was one of those moments where the constant pressure from the chat finally made him break character for a second, showing some real frustration. Even then, he tried to move on quickly, keeping the stream flowing while shutting down the unnecessary trolling. Moving on to another news. It looks like Ilia will not be fighting in January after all. Recent rumors suggested he might appear on the first UFC Paramount card, but Alvaro Colmenero has now clarified that things have changed significantly. He explained that there have been private situations behind the scenes, and fans should expect major surprises in the lightweight division. According to him, he can confirm that Ilia will not fight in January, and even February seems extremely unlikely. In his view, spring is the most realistic timeframe for Ilia's next appearance. At the same time, new reports are spreading that Paddy Pimblett is being lined up to face Justin Gaethje on the first Paramount card. Multiple sources told him that UFC 324 is expected to feature Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje, and he believes this matchup could serve as the main event. He also said his interpretation of the situation is that the winner of that fight will move on to face Ilia in the spring or summer, unless Dustin gets a surprise opportunity against Islam at the White House event or during International Fight Week. In the middle of all this, Arman seems to be left out of the immediate title picture. Despite believing that Arman deserves the next shot on merit, Colmenero acknowledged that the current pieces on the board may not fall in his favor in the short term. With scheduling shifts, promotional priorities, and potential blockbuster matchups being negotiated, the lightweight division is moving quickly, and Arman may have to wait a little longer before his opportunity comes together. Moving on to another news. A bombshell has come out of Russian media after Osen Bekbadai released a teaser for his upcoming interview with Arman. In that short clip, Arman confirmed he got into an altercation with Paddy Pimblett just a few hours after UFC Qatar. This happened during the chaotic post-event period, when fighters, teams, and officials were all moving around the same building, most likely the fighter hotel where everyone was crossing paths. And considering the tension that night, it wasn't surprising to hear that more than one incident took place behind the scenes. Arman didn't try to hide anything. He openly said the situation never turned into a physical fight, but it definitely escalated into a heated back and forth. Both men exchanged words, and it was clear neither one was backing down. This all unfolded just hours after Arman submitted Dan Hooker, a victory that has massive implications for the lightweight title picture. Arman's performance put him right back in the center of the title conversation, and momentum is now firmly on his side. Paddy, on the other hand, appears to be heading toward a showdown with Justin Gaethje. Multiple reports have stated that the UFC is working hard to line that up, especially with the lightweight division finally showing signs of movement again. And to make things even more interesting, several sources confirmed the UFC is pushing Arman to face Ilia next. Arman himself said this is the plan, adding that the UFC isn't happy with Gaethje constantly demanding a title shot or hinting at retirement if he doesn't get what he wants. The division has been painfully stagnant for months, with contenders stuck in place and no clear direction. But these potential matchups could finally shake everything loose. If Arman versus Ilia gets booked and Paddy versus Gaethje comes together, the entire top 5 opens up again. Suddenly, the lightweight picture would have structure, momentum, and legitimate stakes for every fighter involved. As the teaser continued, Arman began to dive deeper into what exactly happened that night in Qatar. He explained how the situation started, how quickly it escalated, and how it ultimately ended before becoming something bigger. He didn't exaggerate or dress it up. He just laid out the story as it happened, making it clear that tensions in the lightweight division are higher than ever. Moving on to another news, Daniel Cormier fires back at Jon Jones after new comments reignited their long-running rivalry. A few days ago, Jon claimed he was offered a charity grappling match against DC, saying, "I said absolutely. Let's see what comes of it." 3-0. That immediately stirred the MMA world, and now DC has responded. New footage recently surfaced showing Jon eating food in Chechnya, and fans quickly noticed it was filmed during the Thanksgiving holiday. DC jumped into the comments and said, "Why is Jon Jones not with his family on Thanksgiving holiday?" His reaction quickly picked up traction, adding another layer to the tension between the two. The back and forth continues to fuel speculation about whether they'll ever meet again, even if only in a grappling setting. For now, though, DC's sharp response shows he's not letting Jon's claims slide.